So the government announces 99% mortgages. For what it's worth, I don't think it's going to be that great news for first-time buyers, but I think it's going to be good news for property investors and small-time developers. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. We put out new videos each and every week, all dedicated to keeping you on top of your property investing game. So it's election year, and that means silly gimmicks from the incumbent government, desperate to trying to get your votes. And this latest stunt is the 99% mortgage. Now, what exactly will that mean? Well, I think we're focusing on completely the wrong thing. Now, we all know there's a desperate shortage of homes in the UK. There's a target of 300,000 homes per year that need to be built, and we're not even building half of that. That is where you actually address the desperate housing shortage. But what they're trying to do is a sticky plaster, which is to say, well, okay, let's not attack the supply side, try to do something about the demand side, which is to say that, well, people have difficulty getting onto the ladder because of saving up for a deposit. So if we can offer a 99% mortgage, that means you only have to save 1% as a deposit and you're good to go. Now, in theory, that all sounds okay, but you know what? Banks don't work like that. Banks ain't going to lend over a certain loan to value. And that's simply because if the home buyer doesn't have skin in the game, it's easy for them to walk away. So what will continue to happen is that banks will lend up to a certain percentage, maybe 70%, 80%, something like that. And the difference, the government will basically underwrite. We've had schemes like this before, like the Help to Buy scheme, but I've always said that was really Help to Sell, and it was specifically designed for the big house builders to help them sell their new build housing stock. But all those schemes were aimed at new house builders. The great thing about this is aimed at the first-time buyer to get them a 99% mortgage, and they can use that 99% mortgage to buy new houses, old houses, whatever houses, your houses. Now, it's not going to help everybody because, of course, interest rates are a little bit higher than they were a couple of years ago, and the buyer, the mortgage applicant, has got to be able to demonstrate affordability for a 99% mortgage. So not everyone will meet that affordability criteria, but what it will do is certainly push up the prices for first-time buyer property. Now, as I said, I think this is an election gimmick. I think this won't last long. I think it'll be brought in and it will very soon be superseded by new rules from an incoming government. But how will it affect you guys as property investors? Well, if you're a buy-to-let landlord, it may affect you marginally in that some of your tenants may be in a position to actually buy a property based on this 99% mortgage scheme. But if you're a small-time developer and you're making properties aimed at the first-time buyer market, perhaps you're doing a permitted development scheme where you're converting a former commercial building into a small block of flats, you're creating 1 and 2 bedroom flats or 1 and 2 bedroom houses which are particularly suitable for first-time buyers, then what it means is that you've got a more ready market for those properties. The other type of investor who will benefit are the flippers. Now, flipping properties is when you are basically buying some shabby rundown property, doing a quick tart-up and flipping it on for a quick profit. And that will help you big time because the type of person who would go for a 99% mortgage is not the type of person who has a large deposit. So typically, if they don't have those funds available, they wouldn't be able in a position to buy a shabby property, do all the refurb works and all of that. So they would be looking for a property where they have to put the minimum amount of cash down. So if you are in the business of flipping, you're taking shabby properties, doing them up a little bit, flipping them on, and they are aimed at first-time buyers, then there will be plenty of opportunities to be had if you're doing property flips. Now, we don't have too many details of when this will be brought in, but this seems to be typical of what the government are doing, which is to trail new ideas in the news and that kind of thing to see what the public reaction is. And depending on that, they will be looking to bring it in, most likely in the spring budget. So expect to see some kind of 99% mortgage available for first-time buyers in the spring budget. Don't expect it to be around for that long. Don't expect every first-time buyer to be eligible for this type of mortgage because they've still got to demonstrate that affordability. But if you are making properties for resale aimed at first-time buyers, or in the business of flipping properties aimed at first-time buyers, then you should do very well out of this because you have got more demand for your housing stock. So tell me what you think about the 99% mortgage. Is it a stunt? Is it actually good for the property market? Will it have any effect at all? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe for more of these videos, and see you guys next time. The Baker Street Property Meet is the UK's largest and #1 property investors networking event. The property market is going through monumental change right now, and at Baker Street Property Meet we aim to keep you up to date with the latest tips and tricks and insider tactics to help you keep on top of your property investing game and succeed in these troubled economic times. The Baker Street Property Meet is fundamentally about networking because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at Baker Street, we aim to connect you with the people to make your property journey a monumental success. There's no better place to be to further your property investment journey than the Baker Street Property Meet. So make sure you're here, you're connecting with myself and Andrew Roberts, our expert guest speakers and 300 passionate property people each and every month. See you at the next meet. Get your spot at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.